Hi guys, welcome back. It's Mariah and Megan is currently stuffing her face full of croutons. Very embarrassing. Fuck you, you fucking little three blind mice.
That's offensive to so many people. Do you know what the meaning of bukkake is? Megan! Let's record a podcast. Guys, I'm so hungry. And, croutons make a really good snack. Get yourself some Texas toast, seasoned croutons. They make a really good snack. They even say right on the bag, big flavor, light, crispy crunch. I mean, come on.
Okay, and I'm not here to make fun of your life choices, but I am curious, what is the calorie count for the serving size?
2 tablespoons are 35 calories.
How much would you say 2 tablespoons is? Like two croutons? Like, why is it measured in, sorry, why is it in
7 grams.
tablespoons?
I
Why
don't
would it
know.
say per crouton? What the fuck?
Serving size 5 croutons.
How the fuck am I gonna measure it in tablespoons?
Honestly, I don't know. Oh,
I would say a crouton is like 1 tablespoon, maybe two croutons.
I feel like because here's the thing, if you were to break down a crouton, like grind it into like actual measurable like teaspoon, because if you were to actually place 2 croutons on a tablespoon, it wouldn't fit correctly and it wouldn't feel like it would actually fit on the spoon. But if we were to grind that up, I think you're right. 2 croutons grounded up on a
Yeah,
tablespoon, that would be about right.
someone do the research on it, but not me because I'm too lazy.
Yeah, we are a little lazy right now, guys. So we just like had our annual little chatty chat because, girls need it. And Megan's a bad friend.
Annual, aka every week.
Yep.
This is the Megan's a Bad Friend podcast. I'm just kidding.
Literally, honestly, not a
It's
lie.
not her fault. She's had a tough, we've both, honestly, we fucking both have had a tough month. Like, I moved and I've been dealing with all that stuff. I've been very busy in a good way. I've been doing a lot of fun stuff. Like, I've been on walks, I've been swimming, I've had friends over, I've been on bonfires. It's all good stuff, but it is stuff. So I'm physically, mentally very tired.
Yeah. I also feel the same way. I feel like, yeah, I've had all really good positive things, positive, like, hanging out with people, going and do things. I mean, work, obviously, that's not, I wouldn't say it's like not positive, but it's also just like it's
Say
work.
it's not positive personally, but
Yeah, but it's work. It's like I'd rather obviously not be working. So,
yeah. It's just like I've been thinking about it the past couple days, and it's like when I lived in my old apartment, I was work, come home, sit and watch TV for a couple hours, go to bed, start over again. Here, and this is not a complaint, this is just a wow, this is a different lifestyle. I've lived with my family, family's close, friends from childhood are closer. Some friends are further away than others, aka Megan. But like for the most part, I'm a lot closer to everyone from when I was younger. And so I also have a pool out back, it's heated. I have a pond out back. I have family around the pond that I live at, and my dog can go in and outside all anytime he wants. Like we've gone on walks because I'm in more of a rural area. So I go on long walks, I go on hikes, I go to the beach, I do this, I do that. And I'm like just golfing, and I'm just so tired.
I mean, but like that's like really good. That's like super awesome that like that's what you're doing with your time. Because I felt the exact same way whenever I would go to my parents' house, all my childhood, and granted, not that you and I are childhood friends, but like my very good hometown friends, including your husband, lived there. So it was like I got the best of both worlds where I was able to hang out with my parents and like have fire pits, go on boat rides and whatever. But then I also got to go see you and go out with you and Keith and your friends. And it was just
Oh
like
yeah.
so incredible.
And the jacuzzi and
Yes, and the hot tub. Oh my gosh.
parties and Yeah, no. So you know what I'm talking about. It's like then when you're home, you're like constantly go, go, go.
I
But it's
know.
a good thing, but it's like just different because I'm used to being a lazy piece of shit. So
Well, and I be honest too, is like I've been like reflecting on like my summer too, and you and I had talked a little bit about it, is the fact that y- you and I hung out like literally every weekend all summer long. And it was literally so incredible because every time I'd come home, I would just be able to just see you and hang out with you and just have you as a home base, along with the fact that my parents
yeah,
were home base. And now that you moved, like going home and visiting my parents, it was just a very different experience. Like when I was, and granted, I brought my kitten with me to visit my parents this weekend, but like literally, I had nowhere to go. Like there was a lot of downtime and I was very bored. And I was literally just sitting there thinking like, I don't really like want to go home as often. Like, don't get me wrong, I love going out with my parents and hanging out with them, but it's
yeah,
not like when you're there. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go record a podcast. Mariah and I are gonna grab brunch and like, because you and I can just do stuff all day, and
yeah.
it was so different, and it was
100%. That's been the shittiest part about moving is that we don't see each other like at all. But apparently, even if I was in where I was before, it wouldn't have mattered because you haven't even had time to go back anyway. So
I know this past like last end of August, like I don't even like remember what I've been doing. Like I honestly like I'm like looking back. Let's see what I
it's a
did.
blur. You've been working. You've been going to conferences and this and that and radios and
I've been working a
oh,
lot. I
yay.
was in Connecticut at one point in August, and I think I'm like going back. Let's see. Oh my God.
And aren't you going to like Maryland in like this week or something?
Minnesota. Minnesota. Yep. Oh, yep. Oh, yep. Going. Yeah. Oh my God. Literally, I'm looking through my calendar and it's like overwhelming. Yes, I am heading to Minnesota on Sunday for a conference again. Was
You're
literally,
such a lucky shit.
I mean, like, but like, really, what is there to do in Minnesota?
No, but I love traveling. Are you
I
kidding
know.
me? I would love to do that for a living.
All right.
The only thing that sucks though is like you can't see your animals, you know what I mean? Like I would be so sad.
All
And
right.
I guess your husband, that would be sad too.
Can I make
Thank
a
you.
literal promise slash next time? So I may or may not be going to a couple more conferences, obvi, because I am very fortunate enough to be able to travel a little bit, only genuinely because of the type of work that I do. Because
Yeah.
I'm in marketing, there's a lot of conferences. All right, next one I go on, um, I'm gonna bring you because the only thing you would have to pay for is your flight. And then
Are
while
you
we're
allowed to bring people that are not your spouse or significant other?
yeah, I can bring whoever the hell I want.
Oh my God, yeah, please
I
bring me.
literally
Are you
tell my
kidding?
boss that I'm suddenly a lesbian and this is my lover.
That's so funny. I would play into it. I would kiss you whenever you want.
Are you kidding me? He would not. Well, I'm assuming he wouldn't care. I think it's more just like as long as you're not on company like spending any of our company money, like who cares? You know what I mean? Like
I'm your hooker.
I was gonna say he brought his mom to the last conference, and like that's not a significant other.
I can be your mommy.
Yeah, I'll suck on those nips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me the list of places you're going, and I would love to go.
So my boss told all of the directors, he was like, if there's a marketing conference that you think you'll benefit from, like let me know and you can go to it. So I've been keeping my eye out. So next year there's another marketing conference and I'm trying to convince my boss that we should go again just to like go, even though we've already gone to the other one. Um, and it's either going to be in Vegas or Nashville and you can go with me.
Oh my God, yeah, I would love that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, please tell me they have one in California. I've never been. Also, Vegas would be bomb as fuck. I've been before, but it's so cool. I
Yeah.
also don't trust that we wouldn't die though if we went to Vegas, just the two of us.
Oh my God. If we went to Vegas and especially if my boss didn't go, I would not go to any of the fucking meetings. I would literally be so hungover every day because we would be so fucking lit every night. We probably
Would
would
he
end.
not make you like show proof that you've been there?
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. Like, just send one picture and then leave.
So if this is Megan's boss or anybody who knows Megan's boss, mind your fucking business.
Yeah, Julian, I'm talking about you. You're a listener.
Yeah. No, that'd
I'm,
be
I'm
sick as
assuming,
fuck.
I'm like assuming like this is all like no, in all seriousness, yes, you absolutely I can bring a plus one and it does not need to be my spouse to a conference. That's totally already been approved because I literally so funny enough. So the boss who actually originally hired me, I literally asked, I was like, she was going to send me to this conference in Vegas alone because I was the only marketing person. I literally why does this happen every time? There's like a little like bubble whenever we're
There's
on.
a bubble with a thumbs up toward when it's towards the ends of our Zoom call, and it always throws me off. Does it happen to me or just you?
No, it
It showed
happened
up
to
on your
you.
face.
No, it happened to you. Yeah, well, it happened to you at one point. I forget what we were doing, but it happened to you last time. But
Anyway.
so anyway, so I literally asked her, I was like, can I bring my boyfriend? Because you're literally sending me on this conference like alone. Like I'm not gonna travel to Vegas alone. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely would travel to Vegas alone, but like why would I want to if I'm going to a conference in Vegas? Why wouldn't I want to
Right?
bring my plus one or a plus one, I should say? And she was like, no.
Oh, she said no.
Yeah, she told me no. So then when
You didn't go though, right? She didn't force you to go, right?
well, no. So then my new boss, the transition happened where he took over leadership of the entire company. And then he was like, I'm going to the conference. So then I was like, oh shit, my old boss said no. I was supposed to go alone. And now my new boss is actually going. And I was like, oh crap, like, what am I gonna do? Like Scott literally already bought his tickets. Like, we're ready to go. Because I told
Oh, he did buy his tickets?
yeah, because I literally told Scott, I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, you're coming.
Yeah.
And
So you were just gonna go without, yeah.
yeah, because like literally, I even talked to some of the other people in who were going to this conference who didn't work directly with me, but worked at another location that was going to this conference. And they were like, I'm literally bringing my significant other. I was like, yeah, literally same. And so I went to her, sorry, so I went and I finally was like to him, I was like, hey, so do you care if I bring a plus one? Like I just didn't really feel like traveling alone, but now that I know that you're going, like I guess I don't have to bring
You're like, please
somebody.
say yes. It's non-refundable tickets.
I know, literally, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my
You
God.
pretend he's a stranger. You're like, hey, stranger.
I
You
know.
pretend you meet him on the plane and like fall in love. And you're like, oh my God, you should totally come back to the room.
Literally, I was just like, oh, and then suddenly he was like, oh my, he was like, yeah, I don't freaking care. I was like, oh, thank
Thank God
God.
he's cool.
No, but literally it was like such a 360. I was just like, jeez. I was like, what is happening? So
Cool. All
that was
right.
really good. So with that said, so that's when I kind of learned because he even said he was like, I don't care. You can bring whoever you want. Like as long as you do your work, like why would I care? And I was like, bet.
Fair enough.
And then later on, like when we were at the conference, like I think we talked about this on an earlier podcast when I got really sick and I got food poisoning. I literally had
Yeah.
asked him like in the middle of the conference, we were like in one of the seminars. I was like, on the next break, do you care if I walk over to CVS? Because I am like literally dying. And he's like, Megan, I do not care. You are an adult. You do not need to ask my permission to go get medication because you are not feeling well. I am not your nurse. I
That's so funny.
was
He's
like,
like, literally, fuck off.
he's like, fucking manage your life. I do not care. I'm like,
That
bet.
would be me as a boss. I'd be like, honestly, I don't fucking care. I do.
Literally. Well,
I
because
see people fuck off at work all the time, and I'm like, and at first it bothers me because I'm like, I'm working, and then I'm like, you know what? Fucking whatever, do your thing. Like sometimes I want to slack off a little bit because I see
yeah,
other people slacking off.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
and I feel like something I've learned, karma is such a bitch. It comes around, you know what I mean? Like people who are slacking off, people who are not doing well, or like not doing what they should be doing, it's kind of like it'll all come to fruition
Yeah.
eventually.
Sometimes I get it though. It's like, if it's like a fucking slow day or something, you're like, I just don't want to be here. I get it.
Really every day. I feel like I haven't had a slow day in a while. Actually, last week I had a pretty slow day. Like towards the end of the week, I had a pretty slow couple days, which was actually really nice. But then I was dealing with like other crises.
Yeah.
So, uh, well, do you have any stories for us today? Even though like we should.
Okay, so I was gonna maybe talk to you about this off the pod, but then I was like, you know what? I'll say it on so we can
Ooh,
get people's opinions actually.
the pressure.
Um, I've just been thinking about it and I'm like, we've been doing this for like a year, a little over a year probably by now. And like I feel like we still don't have a niche, right? I
Right.
feel like we just hop on and like we change what we say and do often. And it feels like something is not clicking right. You know what I mean? So if anybody has suggestions, like I feel like we need to have more of a niche. And for me, what I like to talk about and research and all that fun stuff is like personally, I like conspiracies, legends, crimes, things like that. And I wasn't sure maybe if like a big portion of our podcast was that and a big portion of our podcast was whatever you like or I don't know. Would that not make sense though?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. To be honest, I wanted to start a podcast because I really like fun facts. I just like learning new things. Like from like the most obscure things to like things you would never think are like interesting. Like for example, like I think of the Phineas and Ferb. Like, did you know the end of a shoelace is an aglet? Like little like fun facts. I love that shit. Or like, did you know squirrels sleep for upwards of 15 hours a day? Like
You're gonna have to come up with like 40 fun facts a podcast.
maybe 40 would not be a good use of our time, but I was kind of thinking maybe I could find like I was going through, for example, some of my old notes and I have just like fun obscure articles of like random things that have happened around the country, like the Dolly Parton lookalike contest, like little things like that that I think are like funny and interesting. That's kind of
Mhm.
like my niche. Like I don't necessarily always like gear towards like pop culture or like super like what does Scott like to call us? Like diva-esque or
Oh,
whatever.
gossip.
Or gossip, yeah, whatever the heck he says. Like I think like I don't know, I try to find like just like how you find conspiracies, like I try to find like genuine, like interesting, kind of like quirky articles. So maybe like quirky conspiracies.
Okay, wait, you know what works well?
Ooh.
So, I do like conspiracy, crime, all that stuff. If I told you my general thought for what the week I want to do, like today, I want to do the Mariana Trench.
Mm-hmm.
If I gave you, hey, this is roughly what I want to do, you could come up with cool facts or stories surrounding that, you know?
Are you
Like,
kidding me? I would be so good if you gave me a topic. I could literally research it and give you all the fun highlights. Maybe
yeah.
that's how we should structure shit.
And then the episode can be titled around what we're focusing on.
So
The
this
only
episode.
issue with that, this is about the Mariana Trench.
Mhm.
The only issue is our podcast name, our podcast description, everything about our podcast is giving sex life, just talking, random bullshit, you know,
Yeah.
toxicity. And it's like very different than the direction that I could see us going down.
I know. I get it. And it's so funny because, and I've mentioned it before, when I came up with the name Incognito, I was not thinking sex at all. Like Pornhub, nothing
Gotcha.
that was not in my like mirror. It was more of like I was trying to give ourselves a name that could encompass many different topics where I was thinking of it more, we're incognito, we're private because nothing's off the table and like we Anything
Mm.
you could search in an incognito browser, because whether it's shameful or you didn't want people to know that you searched it, we could talk about. Like, I wanted to
Yeah,
give
I could see
the
that.
umbrella of being able to discuss anything, and it shouldn't be a shameful environment. We're like just here to chat. That was my vibe.
That in that sense it works, but I think the name Incognito doesn't, for most people, they think of porn. Like,
I
I think of
know.
porn and stuff. But then it's that being said,
It's like, goddamn.
rebranding is tough at this point. So I guess I'm bringing this up on the podcast to say if anyone aside from the two of us has any ideas or name ideas or ideas on how we can go about a more structured podcast, we're definitely open to ideas.
I think we
What
should.
would be most interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, I think rebranding is not a bad idea. We're on our second season. We haven't really seen results, and maybe it's because we haven't been putting in the effort as much as, as we want. Like, yeah, like I know for a fact, like I could probably dedicate, and I should be dedicating more time to the podcast, in the sense like making better social media posts. And I think my biggest thing too, being kind of like the one who would probably take a big lead on the rebranding process, although you're actually like, just you have a lot of really good design skills too, so actually I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I would like design, like, maybe I would help with the strategy, but I feel like I could see you doing like the heavy core design work.
Mm.
Like,
'Cause my thing is,
I don't
it's
know.
hard to find. I don't think it's with us. Actually, kind of I do, in the sense that we do talk a lot about our life stuff, and the thing that's cool, and I think it's funny, and like we have fun with it. But I think that the whole podcast being about that every episode, a lot of people are gonna be like, people who don't know us are gonna be like, why do I care? You know?
Really.
So if we had other stuff that we focused on and just a little bit life here and there, or like sex stuff or this and that, which is also fun. I love doing that. That's where I'm like, it's like I want to do all of it, but I know that it kind of needs to be a little more narrowed. I don't know where that line is though. So,
I think, I don't know about you. And again, we're talking very candidly. And thank you guys for kind of listening. Our loyal listeners, aka Tori and Britt, love you guys. Literally, our two very loyal, two only very
I mean,
loyal listeners.
Jesus, pretend we have more than that. Jesus
No,
Christ.
we do actually. I have a couple friends who actually have been saying, "I listen to the pod. It's so funny."
And they're like, stop saying you only have two.
I know. Like, I fucking listen, bitch.
Like,
But
what about us?
I thank you for letting us like kind of talk about our brand and strategy sesh. But I think on the weekend that we scheduled to hang out, we put it in our calendars, September 13th through the 15th, we should do a full rebrand, and like we should sit down and really see where this
Mm,
is going. Because, to talk candidly and out loud, like this podcast, I would say, really developed our friendship like on a very different level. Like, I feel like if we didn't have this podcast, we would have never gotten so close so fast. But now that we're so close and you're my best friend, I could see obviously us being continuous friends without the podcast. Total, like, you're locked in for life. Like, whether you want it or not, you're stuck with me, and you're gonna be there till the day I die. I'm expecting us to have burial sites near each other, so we should
and
probably.
babies together, of course.
Yes, and if I am not the drunk aunt and I'm not literally at your birth, I will literally like slit your throat.
I'm not delivering the baby. Sorry,
If
but
you're
someone
not
already
delivering the
claimed that
baby and my
actually.
face is not looking at your vagina as that baby's being pushed out, I just don't even know
I
how.
already have someone who wants to be the one pulling the baby out, so and it's
I
not
don't want to do that. I just kind of, if you
Yeah.
want my honesty, I kind of just want to like hold your hand, or at least be.
Why did I think you were gonna say hold my vagina? It's like, wow, okay, thanks.
I'll hold
Moral
your. If
support.
you know what, if the doctor says, Megan, hold her leg up, like do something, I'll do it. I
Megan, hold her labia up. It's drooping.
literally fucking
So
pry
gross.
open, pry open the kraken if they ask me
This
to.
is the shit that I mean, dude. Like we say random shit. Like it's not gonna be 100% serious all the time. Like, So anyway, that being said, I like that idea. Okay, if anybody listening, not just the two people that we always shout out, because I know we have more.
We we do. And we know
Anybody,
there are people in other countries listening. Thank you for putting up with our nonsense. Us Americans over here, we live quicker.
a little stupid as fuck is what we are, but that's okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, we are gonna I think the game plan is we will come up with something for that weekend that we see each other, which is in like 2 weeks. So there's gonna be changes, as you just heard. We just don't know what they are yet. And yeah,
I love it.
that being said, anything to add to that, Megan?
Um, we will probably also, I'm thinking maybe we put out a quiz on, or not a quiz, like a thing on Instagram stories, like what should our
Like a
podcast
poll?
be? Like a poll,
Good
yeah.
idea. Okay.
So that may not happen, like, for example, when this episode comes out, but it will be happening within between now and when Mariah and I meet on September 13th through
13.
15th. And also,
Well,
just candidly, wanted
hmm,
to mention, I've been saying candidly a lot. My mom's birthday is September 13th, so it'll be good that I'm hanging out with you. Because
okay.
it's a bad.
Wow. That's I feel okay. I will need to bring you champagne.
Yes. September 13th and September 30th, I want to get.
I'll need to have a list of jokes so that way you don't get sad.
I know. I've been pretty good. Past couple years, I haven't cried, so we're good.
Okay, we'll keep the streak going.
Well, yeah. But if it happens, it happens.
Okay, yeah, you do your thing, girl. So, okay. Well, on that note, shall I get into the Mariana Trench?
Yes, give me your trenchy ideas.
Which, if anybody was listening specifically for the title of Mariana Trench, which I know that I looked it up, so whatever pops up, people click on that shit. So they'd be like, "What the fuck are they talking about for the last 40 minutes?" Okay.
Not
Uh,
me.
Last week we talked about the Loch Ness monster. I had a lot of fun with that, and I remember it sparked my interest on the Mariana Trench. So I like did some Googling, but I will say that all of these facts that I got, they came from a podcast that everybody knows and loves, I'm sure, called Unexplained Mysteries. And I know that a lot of my stuff in the future might come from them and other podcasts because I'm more of a listener than a researcher.
Yep.
So if you're gonna listen, you can absolutely listen to them. They are way more detailed than I'll be, but I want to just discuss it. So, how much do you know about the Mariana? Am I pronouncing it right? Mariana? Mariana.
Marianne. Yeah, I think so.
Mariana
Um,
Trench. How much do you know about it, Megan? What facts do you know about it?
so truthfully, funny enough, I actually took a course in high school, marine biology. And so I was actually very exposed to oceanic life in high school. And I definitely have a love for marine biology. What I have found from the Mariana Trench is that I know it's like, as we know, and maybe in recent years this has changed, but as far as I know, it is the deepest point in the ocean. We
Correct.
we have unable to be able to reach the bottom because of how deep it is, because we could become like the fucking lost shuttle,
That's
the
actually
submarine.
incorrect.
Okay, so
Cool.
good thing.
I thought the same thing. I didn't think
Yeah.
anyone had been to the bottom.
So that's as far as I know, and I'm guessing from just like conspiracy wise, like I wholeheartedly believe like we have only explored like one third of our ocean. Like there's still so much ocean yet that we haven't explored. Like I know that, for example, we talked about in one episode in season one, we talked about the lost plane, the Malaysian airline plane.
Ooh, that was a good one.
How much you want to bet? Like if we actually combed all of our ocean, we found
We
maybe
find.
there are pieces of the plane like in the Indian Ocean. Like I don't know. So I truly believe that there are like dead, like I don't know, like what's the megalodons, like there's dead like
I
giant
was gonna
sharks
bring up the megalodon.
hiding. I don't know. I don't know. That's like kind of my vibe, so that's all.
Okay. Yeah, so I was actually expecting, okay, I'll just get into it. So it is estimated at the deepest to be roughly 36,000 feet deep. Okay. It's roughly 7 miles.
Okay.
If you were to take, to put it in reference, Mount
7 miles
Washington,
wide.
7 miles down depth, like all the way down to the ground, like from the top of the wave all the way down to the bottom of the ocean floor at its deepest point, is roughly 7 miles. Doesn't sound like a lot to me, but then to put it in perspective, if you took Mount Washington itself and you put it at the bottom of the trench, um, it still would not reach the top of the water by over 7,000 feet.
Wait, are you thinking of Mount Washington? Are you thinking of Mount Everest?
Oh my God. I wrote down Mount Washington. Maybe I did mean Mount Everest.
Mount Washington, because Mount Washington is in our home state. I mean, not your technical home state, but in the state you lived in for a long time. Mount Everest is like in the country with I think shoot, what country is it in? Now I gotta look it up. Nepal. Thanks, honey. Scotty with the win. It is in Nepal.
Okay, wait. I take it back. I am wrong. It's Mount Everest. I'm a fucking dumbass and I wrote Washington. I just Googled it. I was like, why did Mount Washington sound so small? Anyway, so if you take Mount Everest and you put it at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, it still won't hit the top of the water by
Yeah,
over 7,000 miles.
got it.
Sorry, feet. 7,000 feet. So anyway, that being said, 6 people have made it to the bottom.
S- like all
Six.
six
Six
people have
at different
made it to the
times.
bottom of the
Different
Mariana.
times.
Okay.
Yes. So the first one, it was 2 people. It was in 1960. One of the guys actually didn't pass away until 2023.
Okay.
Um, After that, it was one filmmaker in 2012. So not like how many years later, right? Like 60 years later. I'm bad at math.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah,
So,
50?
but like, I need to understand the technology here. In 1960, what were they in a submarine and they made it all the way to the bottom?
Yeah, so like from what I was listening to, it were throwing out words of what the actual device was or like how it worked, and I didn't quite get it. I know that the two of them were like monitoring like water pressure and like light and all this fun stuff, and at one point they had a bang on their like machine that they're in, whatever this thing is, this vessel. They're in a vessel. They had a loud like bang and they thought they hit like this giant sea creature, and a crack came in the window part of the tank
Sure.
or whatever it is, and they were like, "Oh fuck, like we got a megalodon or something," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if megalodon was a thing back in the 1960s, but you know what I mean? They're like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck did we hit?" So they had this light on the bottom of that thing, the vessel,
Mm.
and this smoke came up. They had hit the bottom, and they said that they saw a sole. And a sole is a flatfish. They said it was as thin as a pancake. It's been argued later on that a flatfish would not be able to survive down there, and what they saw had to have been an unknown creature. So they were only able to stay down there for 20 minutes with the amount of oxygen that was left. The people that first went down, it was a 5-hour trip for the first descent. So 5 hours all the way down. The pressure down there is so, there's so much pressure. How Unexplained Mysteries worded it in the podcast is it is the amount of pressure of your pinky nail being stepped on by a fucking elephant. That is how like combustible it is down there. The
Yeah.
likelihood of imploding is just off the charts. like the submarine with the Titanic. You remember that? How they imploded? And
Yeah,
that was the Titanic. That was, I looked it up, and the Titanic sits at 12,500 feet deep. This is 36,000 feet deep. This is over double.
and that I was literally about to say that. How could the submarine visiting the Titanic sink and not these 6 people? Like, this must have been
Okay.
pure luck, and whatever that
Yeah.
engineering design is, why haven't they kept up with that?
Definitely luck, but also I know that when they came back up, the vessel was retired due to the damages that it took down there. It was just too much of a risk. Like they easily could have died. Um Again, it was just those two people. It wasn't six. Another person came back in 2012. He was a filmmaker.
Yep.
And with that one, all I know about is that he was in this small, small tank, like that was so small, he was in the fetal position the whole fucking way down. How terrifying. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know much about all these other people, but I do know there was one person who went 4 times in 2019. 4 times. Four. Who the fuck? He returned back in 2020 with the first woman ever, and he went with her down, and they went one time. The most
Snaps to
recent
you,
person and
girly.
the huh? Yeah, snap.
Snaps to
Snap
you,
for that girl.
girly. That's
Then
another
the
thing.
last what?
Sorry, really quickly. That's another thing I want to bring on this podcast. Feminism power. We love them pussies.
We bring up Amelia Earhart and the fact that she lost the fucking plane and like died.
Oh
I
my
actually
God.
don't even know the story, but
Low key, I also want to talk about the other famous pilot and his child's disappearance. I think there's a conspiracy there.
you'll have to give that one to me. Also, I need to talk about Helen Keller at another point. But anyway,
Okay.
these are just throwing out ideas.
Okay,
So anyway,
continue.
so the most recent man, he was in 2021. And since then, from what I saw, there's not been another person to return. More people have been to the moon than down in the bottom of this fucking ocean. I
Yeah.
actually didn't even know anyone did.
Yeah, that's what I also like. That's what's crazy to me is that we're like, let's explore everything in the sea and on this earth and in the ocean first before we freaking go to space. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't go to space because we absolutely should. But like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, your money could be well spent trying to discover what else is in the ocean. That's all I
Here's
got.
the scary thing though. It's easier to go to outer space. That's why. Oh my, isn't that crazy that there's so much pressure down at the bottom of the fucking ocean? First of all, it's like impossible to explore all of it. I mean, same could be argued with the fucking universe, right? You'll
Yeah.
never know the depths of that, but like you can see when you're out. That's a wild thought. You can see when you're out in the universe, right? Like, and if you're in the galaxy, you can see the stars, the planet, they're all lit up.
Yep.
When you're down there, there is no fucking light unless you bring one because sunlight cannot be reached past 3,300 feet.
Yeah.
Imagine 36,000 feet. No fucking light.
So also
Absolutely
too,
not.
I've heard like a very like and again, total conspiracy and like this could be like and put a pin in this and let's work on this and talk about this at a later point. But I've also heard that the NASA used to be like when it was first established, it was supposed to be intended to see what was in the ocean. So
Yeah,
like
I think
but
I heard that
they
too.
were so scared about what they discovered that they decided to look what was in space.
Oh my God, right. I do remember hearing that. It's like, what the fuck did they see?
Right. And like again, total conspiracy. We don't know if it's true or not. Could totally just be something on Reddit that was like, said a million times. Like we'd have to do research to really like see if it's worthy of to be a conspiracy for our podcast. But I heard that. That's all I gotta say.
So the fact that or what we are being told about this trench is that she's an old fucking lady. She's a whooping 15 million years old.
Okay.
Like, Jesus. I don't know how old this fucking earth is, but isn't it like billions of years old?
Yeah. I feel like
So,
there
I mean, I guess she ain't that old, huh?
uh yeah, Earth is pretty old, I think. Also, low
Earth
key,
is old as fuck.
also low key, this was one of my fun facts that I wanted to add. This is where I could add them in. Nobody actually fucking knows who named Earth. Who decided the name was Earth?
I mean, I would assume it's like anything in linguistics, correct? Where things just become, they just slowly over time, mumbles turn into things
No, I know, but like I looked it up. No, there is no recorded like this
like
person.
Latin or anything. It didn't
Yeah,
come from anything.
it just came about that we
You
just
know what
know.
it came from? I would say aliens, but since we're talking about the trench, it came from Megalodon.
Yep, I know. We'll
Yeah.
get into
This
aliens
old
in another.
Maggie named it.
You know what? Something's funny is a little quick fun fact as we're mixing work with conspiracies with branding of our podcast. So I made the mistake of telling my colleagues that back in college I gave them the PG version. I used to be called Megalodick. My roommates would call me Megalodick. And
And
so
now you gave me and all our listeners that ammo. Thank you for that,
yeah,
Megalodick.
you're welcome. And you have like such good like fucking nicknames for me.
Mac
Magoon, Magoo,
Daddy.
Mac Daddy,
Boogaloo. Wait,
Mac
no, that's more
Dreamy,
Tana Mojo's nickname, but
Dreamy, Magoose, Magoon.
McDreamy, what the fuck did
I
I
don't
call
know.
you
I'm just
You just
saying
want me to call you McDreamy, mama?
I'm just saying you got all the shit. Here I am. I'm like, you're derriere.
Yeah, you're a fucking asshole is what
I
you
know I'm
are.
terrible. Um, but like, oh, I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
Wow. Way to take us from talking about something so cool to talking
Oh,
about my
anyway,
name
so
being
now,
derriere.
so I remember what I was gonna say. So, now my colleagues call me Megalodon at work.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the disappointing part is I was hoping to hear more about the Megalodon, which I guess is actually a factual thing. I
Mhm.
thought it was a made up thing, and apparently it's actually a
Have you ever seen the
thing.
Meg movies?
That's exactly why I thought it was not a thing. I thought it was fake.
No, they're
So
totes.
how scary is that? They think that could potentially be I think that I'm putting my own opinion, I guess, in it. I could see it definitely being there. And I guess um the other thing that's funny is earlier in this podcast you said the word kraken, which is so odd. When does that word even come up? The reason I remember you saying that is because I knew I was going to talk about the Mariana Trench, and one of the stories I heard on Unexplained Mysteries, the podcast, they brought up stories about the Kraken. So I was
The
like, it's
Kraken.
so weird
That's
that
from
you
like
had said
pirate
that.
days.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason they brought it up in their podcast about the Mariana Trench. Maybe because of all the mysterious creatures and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, absolutely. There are definitely what is that famous and maybe it doesn't live at the bottom of the Mariana Trench per se, but that not I shouldn't say famous, but that fish that was in Finding Nemo, the one with the light
Oh,
sticking out,
yeah, no, I think it
angler.
is down. I'm pretty sure it is down there because they were talking about it on the podcast too. They were talking about all the ones at the bottom of the trench, and they said there's like a luminescent, like eel sort of things that like
Yeah.
glow in the dark because it's so dark down there. And same with the anglerfish. That's it.
Yeah, they make their own light through a different process, which
And
I
it's
I,
crazy.
I know
How is that a thing?
it's yeah, because like I guess because light, gives life. I think on our planet, all species are kind of like if the sun just decided to like burn up and die, which eventually the planet, maybe this is another conspiracy, maybe it's not, maybe it's science. Our Earth will be swallowed up by the sun, or the sun will implode at one point in time. But if the sun just decided to like die out, like we could not survive. Like it would be way too cold. And
But
even
the thing is not all the fish down there do have light. There's a fish down there that has what you would think is eyes. It looks like eyes in the front of its base. It's actually nostrils. And their eyes are actually
hmm,
much lower, I believe they said. Like not in the place where eyes would be. Like they can't see. It's pitch black down there.
interesting.
That being said, it's like really cool to look into these sort of things, and I actually suggest everybody look up what the fuck a goblin shark is.
Oh my
Fucking
God, I
scary.
love the goblin shark.
What? You're weird. You're like, they're so cute. It's so
It's like
gross.
the
They're
sperm whale. I love
disgusting.
sperm whales.
Oh my God. They have long ass noses. They look like
They're so
Pinocchio.
crazy looking. They've like literally there's like rarely any photos because like they live so deep in the ocean. Like
How creepy. What
they
else is
look
there?
so
What the
creepy.
fuck else is down there?
Is it the
Someone tell me.
blobfish down there or something? That really creepy looking blobfish?
Yeah, probably. You know what?
Um,
Quick side note, because I don't know if we'll ever bring up facts about this trench down here. Uh, they unfortunately, in one of the last times that someone went, I believe it was 2020, um, trash was found there in the bottom of the Mariana Trench. A plastic bag and some candy wrappers.
not surprised. I think by
Isn't that so
2050,
sad?
it is so sad. I think by 2050 there's gonna be more um, just fish than I mean, there's gonna be more plastic than fish.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
So, okay, well, we have talked for quite a while. This is gonna be really fucking terrible to edit because it's so long. I got
Well,
another long one. We always decide to talk a lot more when it's mine.
I
So
know,
that
why
was
is
fun.
that? I'm so sorry. How does that even
I
happen?
don't know. I don't just
Well,
poor timing.
with that said, guys, we really hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you go home tonight and clean out your Mariana trenches because we don't want any candy wrappers in there. We hope you have a good night.
Ooh.